The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I am Ryan Sickler, ryansickler.com, and Ryan Sickler on all your social media. Happy New Year to everybody out there. I hope you had a great holiday season, and I hope this 2023, I hope you kick its fucking ass, all right? Please subscribe to that YouTube channel out there, and if you need more, then you got to check out the Patreon. I'm keeping it at $5. We haven't raised it once. It's staying $5 all year. If you want to save even more money, sign up for a year. You're getting a month free, all right? You get the HoneyDew a day early. You're still getting it ad-free, and you're getting it at no additional cost, all right? Also, want to throw a little shout out to the feasters. The Crab Feast is back. We got it back in our, what do you call it? I don't know. Is it possession? I don't think it's possession. It's just, under the artist's control. How's that sound? So if you don't know about the Crab Feast, man, you got to check it out. It's a 7.5-year library of all your favorite comedians in podcasting with different stories. All right. We're going to keep putting links in the episodes of people who were on the Crab Feast. You can go ahead and check out an episode and make sure you subscribe to that as well. All right. If you love the HoneyDew, I promise you're going to love that. And if you're all caught up on the Dew, you got a hell of a library to go check out. All right. Now, you guys know what we do over here. We highlight the lowlights. All right. These are the stories behind the storytellers. And I'm very excited to kick the year off with this guest who's back on the Dew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shapel Lacey. Welcome back to the Dew, Shapel.
Thanks for having me back.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course, man.
Before we get into everything, please plug all of it.
Social medias, all of them are at Shapel Lacey. I don't do Twitter or nothing like that. A little crazy right now. And also, I'll be in Sacramento January 5th through the 7th at the Punchline. I've never done that club before. I've never been up to.
A good spot.
I don't think I've ever been up to Sacramento actually, but yeah, that's pretty much for me. And just come see me on the road and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man.
And if you haven't heard Chappelle's first episode, you got to go listen to your first episode. So your first episode, we talked about you were adopted by a white family in your teens. How old?
Shouts out to white people.
Shouts out to white people. well, the ones who adopt black people.
Who have,
Not all white people.
Yeah. The Sandra Bullocks and the Tim McGraws, the blind
January
side.
6th white people, you don't necessarily
not
want
the January 6th ones, the blind side ones. Shout out to the blind side white people. No,
and Mr. Drummond, Phil Drummond.
Phil Drummond, different strokes,
Shout out Phil Drummond.
Yep, Todd Bridges.
How old were you when you were adopted by them?
Man, that was so, it was like odd because it wasn't like a legal adoption. It was just,
but they took
me in.
Yeah.
They started taking care of me when I was like 15, but 17 was when I had moved in. But before we get into that, I gotta say something.
I just wanted to recap.
No, you're good. I gotta say something that I've never really felt before until I did that last episode. You said something. You said, "Hey, you should go read the comments." And I was like, "Oh no, I'd rather not. I don't want to partake in that world. You
used to working on different shows.
Comments, comment sections can be wild.
Yeah, they can on some shows.
They just, some people like. I've always explained this.
So there's still every now and then there's still people that throw grenades on mine too. Like,
and people that listen to podcasts are just so like they're just diehard fans.
Yeah, they are.
So they have a lot to say when they listen to something every day, every week. They have a lot to say. You said that to me. I was like, yeah, no, I'd rather not. And you pushed me. You said you might want to check these out, and so I did. And that was the first time I ever really felt I don't look for validation ever or reassurance. It's something that is never needed in my world, mainly because of my stepfather, my abusive stepfather. This is pre-adoption, all that stuff. Growing up with him, everything.
So real quick, let me just
go ahead.
Because
Yeah.
I want to make sure people understand.
Yeah.
Your biological dad
Was locked up, prison, attempted murder. Shout out.
And then your mom marries another man who was the stepfather.
They actually never married, but they were just together.
But that's the man
forever.
you're talking about now.
That's the man I'm talking about right now.
Different from the white stepfather who adopted.
Different from the white people.
All right.
So black people, there we go. I'll do it that way. So black family.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he always told me everything about me was incorrect. And anything I ever did was bad. Even things like, I'm not saying I was a great kid all the time, but for the most part, I just liked doing the things that I loved, which was skateboarding, going to punk and hardcore shows, and cheerleading. All these things were very positive things to me that kept me out of trouble. I didn't sell drugs. I didn't,
get locked
up. I didn't do anything of that.
Drive.
I didn't drink and drive or anything of that nature. That was never my style. But meanwhile, he made me feel like everything was incorrect. So I kind of built this thing into me to where if that's how a person sees me, then I don't know. I just thought the rest of the world also saw me that way, because when you're a kid and that's the adult that's in the house, this is supposed to be your parent, and they tell you these things, you tend to believe it because that's the person you live with. That's the person you see every day.
You got me on the hook for Jesus. You got me on the hook for God, Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, I'm going to believe this shit. I'm going to believe it. I'm riding with you on everything else. I'm right here.
Exactly. So I think growing up and realizing that early on, I've kind of just forget what people say. I don't care what people say, whether it's good or bad. I just never cared. So the kindness of the people in that comment section on that episode was insane to me. It gave it like when I was reading it, it gave me an energy that I just never felt before from people saying really nice things about me. And for that, it being a lot of people, because not saying that what my stepfather said was like stuck in my head and like, just ruined me. I think I've just never, just cared for what many people really say, like have said about me, because it just, I don't know. He messed me up pretty damn bad, but for people to say that and say the things that they were saying, it really caught me off guard. And I know at the end of the day, I'm just a guy that's just trying every day to just deliver my best self.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Look, man, I want to say this. I want to give a shout out to everyone out there. This fan base, I'm very fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
They're great people.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's few, lunatics on everybody's squad.
Everybody's squad.
There's that guy on that roots for your team. You're like, why you got to root for our team, man? Yeah. This motherfucker over here.
Yep.
But we'll take your money, though, bro.
Yeah.
We'll take your money. We got you at the parking lot.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, when people fucking ride you like that and you get used to it, it's like you don't. I'm with you. I never looked for validation. It was always like wearing this jacket. This jacket of this person's putting on me every day. You ain't shit. You this. You're a fucking loser. You'll never be anything. Like, not just killing me today, telling me it ain't worth nothing from the rest of your goddamn time. Every fucking day. And then you don't believe it. You fight it. The thing that helped me was I was good at sports. I was good in school. And I started to see like, well, wait a second. I'm doing better than these kids who have two parents. You know what I mean? Who have love under that house.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so talent is different than anything, than being loved. But self-belief, that's where it's fucking at. Believing. The whole time I believe. And then with you, I don't mean to stop.
No, you're good.
There have been moments in my life where if you don't look for it, it might take 20 years, but that shit comes around. And then all of a sudden, you get to take that motherfucking jacket off. Be like, I didn't even know this one right here was an option. You put that on, you're like, God damn, this feels good. And that comment section fucking dressed you up, man.
It really did, because, I've always been really talented at the things that I've done, but I've never thought of it as like yeah, I'm talented at this. It's just things that I love to do, and I just put it out there. And so for that kind of positive feedback, or for just me telling my story,
what you've overcome, where you are now,
it's kind of wild. It was just wild. I just never felt that, and like I said, I'm just a guy, sorry.
Don't be. Take your time.
I'm just a guy that's like, just always trying to deliver my best. So, but I've always just kept that to myself, and just kind of lived in my own world. And so for people to really, feel something from words that I'm saying, it's, especially when I know where I come from, it's wild to get a response like that. I just never think about that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's called love,
especially
that's what it feels like.
especially in the world today, man. Like
you're like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this? Like, damn, this is what this feels like.
Oh, positivity.
Yeah,
hurts.
they got me on this this Full House moment. It's
I do know, dude. I know where I've been. I go from picking my fucking dead grandmother's teeth out of the goddamn carpet, crying on my fucking hands and knees. Like, I got nobody in my life I can even ask for $1.
Yeah.
And to get positivity and love from this show, to have people tell me they reconnected with family, they have started therapy, that this show saved their life. I tell before I start every stand-up show, I'm like, y'all are doing the same thing for me. You really are. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that they know that the connection that I feel from that, and I'm giving back, I don't know that they feel that either. You know what I mean? I hope they know. I say it all the fucking time. This is the best fan base in comedy, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
People tell me that they go on shows that are much bigger than this show, but the reaction that they get from the fan base is way more from this show, and it's positive than a lot of shows they do.
Yeah, like I said, like especially just because the world we live in today, like we make it very, very tough for ourselves just to exist sometimes, and I mean we go so hard on just us as humans all the time, so. Especially on these social media platforms, people like to say some shit.
They love to say.
They love to say some shit.
Keyboard cowboys.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, bro. Just like, hey, everybody. At the end of the day, I think is really trying their best, and
not everybody. That's the thing.
Sorry.
They're not.
Some people aren't.
I say all the time too. Look, you remind me a lot of me when I was younger, like angry as fuck.
Yeah,
but full of love. Bit broy, but emotionally displacing my shit, trying to figure it all out and gather it in, and also always giving your best fucking effort.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. I've said for years, I used to joke, but I meant it. Like, be the best wherever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
If you're in community college, be the best. I was all JUCO, man. I was all JUCO.
All JUCO,
I
baby.
didn't go to Division I, but I was all JUCO at community college. Yeah.
That's how I feel with when I was a valet. Like, I was like, I want to be the best bellman valet that I could fucking be. And meanwhile, that's transitioned into the world of comedy. And, since I've gone full time,
that's right.
Haven't had to work a 9 to 5. But yeah,
I think a lot of people strive to be the best, and instead of just the best they can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want to be good at this thing. I want
Right.
to be good.
Whatever this fucking shell and computer is right here, I want to make this machine the best thing it can be.
Yeah, it's especially because I was so damn angry. Like I told you before.
Yeah, tell me.
I've had 3 different anger management teachers.
I know you right now at the same time.
No, not at the same time. I'm good now. Yeah.
So I want to talk about that because you also told me that you talked to your mom about this last episode as well, right?
Yeah, my mom and I, this biological mom, black family, back to black family.
Got it.
Her and I didn't necessarily have my relationship with my mom wasn't hectic, but it wasn't great. There was just no substance to my mom and I at all. And not really realizing that she was going through shit with the dude she was with at the time.
Yeah.
We were both going through the same shit, but obviously we just never talked about it. And our relationship now, it's insane. We talk on such a deep level that I'm almost in awe that it's happening.
What started that, and when did that start?
So that actually started in 2013 when my brother had passed. He was on my only full-blooded sibling, and
what happened to him?
He died of an overdose. Yeah, an accidental overdose.
How old was he?
He was 28. Yeah, he was 28, and I was 26 at the time. And so with my brother, he was probably one of the most significant people in my life because we went through hell together as kids. Because the thing with our stepfather, we weren't his kids, right? And he obviously had this, he didn't like our biological father at all, right? And so I don't know. I would have to ask him why he did that, but he treated my brother and I completely different.
So he did have kids with your mom?
Yes.
And then how many?
4. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
But
sorry.
you two were like, nah.
Yeah.
The other 4 were his kids and you two were not.
Yes. And he'd make that very clear.
Was he abusive to everyone though?
Not, was
he also abusive to your brother?
My brother that passed? Yeah.
Yeah. So you two and your mom, basically.
We had it the worst for sure. I mean, he wasn't a good dad in general, but yeah, he was aggressive to my brother and I pretty heavy. So losing my brother was like my protector. Every day, because we were going through that crazy shit at home. So anybody that would mess with us outside, like there's times I would get in fights, right? And before I could even swing, he was already there. And I go, let me have my turn. Let me get my hits. Like I get that you're there, but like I was like, I know how to fight too. Everyone's like, yo, your brother keeps saving you, shit like that. But shouts out to my brother, rest his soul. But it was beautiful now that I think about it. And we were just so close. And so to lose him, I didn't know what to do with my world. I got very, very depressed. And I saw this side of my mom. Here's where the reconnecting happens. I saw this side of my mom that I just saw. It was the first time I really saw her pain. And because meanwhile, growing up, she was just so quiet and reserved, but I never saw her. I don't even think I had seen my mom cry at that time, but she was just very quiet and reserved. And so I actually saw pain in her this time. This is her firstborn.
Yeah. She
loses him. And there was just something in my soul that just said, be there for her. And so I just started doing that. I just started being there for her. And ever since that, just doing that, giving that much, just eased up a lot of things. And we were able to talk about a lot of things that we never really talked about before.
What sticks out?
The biggest thing that sticks out was when my stepfather had kicked me out. This is still black side.
How old are you?
Black side, baby.
How old are you when he kicks you out?
I was 16 or 17 when he had kicked me out. Yeah, 17, somewhere around there. And I remember that was a crazy day, but it was the happiest day of my life. I was like, damn, all right, I'm out of here. And I remember my mom had worked the overnight shift at the hospital, and she just had pulled up, and she saw my stepfather standing over my, because he packed all my clothes and put it in trash bags, and she saw him standing over it, and then me going to collect my bags and then leaving, and she was just crying.
Is this after your brother died?
No, this before my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was 17. He died at 28. That was the first time I saw her cry. Was when I got kicked out.
I'm wondering because I'm thinking like, my God, this guy's kicking out her son after her other son died, but it was before.
No, it was before that. And so, that was the first time I ever saw her cry. That was, And
see how I asked the questions?
Yeah. It's good. Thank you. And
what did that make you feel like? Because you say it's happy as shit. You're out, like finally.
I was out,
but also now you're watching your mom cry.
That was
for the
that
first
initial
time.
Emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about my mom crying. I just told her, I said, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I didn't know I was gonna be fine. I didn't know what I was gonna do. But I was like, I'll be fine. I got this. And she told. Then years later, fast forward to us reconnecting, she told me the day he had kicked me out, that's when she was planning her escape. That's when it was a wrap for her, which I didn't know.
And even though she had 4 kids with him.
Yep. She was going to get the rest of them and get out. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that until she told me that, when we were talking one day, like, meanwhile, I'm living here. This was like maybe 2 years ago she had said that. And I never knew that. And that was, it gave me this other layer of love for my mom. It was like, oh, you felt that way? I didn't know how she felt when he kicked me out. I mean, I saw her crying, but I don't think I locked into that. No, there's no way in hell I did. Because I didn't really talk to her after that. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't hold a strong conversation. The most we would talk it'd be like a 3-minute conversation.
And where'd you go?
That's when with the white folks.
Okay, you went there right away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so we moving on up.
So you had a place.
So we're moving on up to Jefferson's, okay? Like George and Wheezy. Beans don't burn on the grill.
That's what I remember you saying. Yeah. There's steps in this house. Yeah, I know you.
Yep.
I used to just live in hallways with rooms off the side.
Just rooms, yeah.
That's what it was.
I lived in a space.
Oh man. Shit.
So yeah, that's where I went. But to hear her say that that's how she felt after that fact, it just made me feel this strong love for her. Just like, damn, that's my mom.
How does she feel about your adopted family?
Oh, she loves them.
Okay.
She always asks about them all the time.
All right.
Yeah, she asks about them all the time. Like I said, they didn't live too far from each other. It was like 20 minutes down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could have walked home anytime, but I was just like, I like these stairs.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would too.
Yeah, I was like,
nobody's throwing me down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm walking up and down stairs. Hell yeah. Thank you, white people. Appreciate that. Thank you for these stairs, man. I ain't never had stairs before. That's nice. Yeah. So, I mean, that's there's just so much beauty in life that if you just really lock into it and pay attention to it, you I don't know. You find these things that'll just move you forward and help you become at peace with a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I had 3 different anger management teachers.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I had to.
Was that a suggested thing or?
No, they put me there. But
they
always,
you there.
They always say,
That's a strong
suggestion. Listen, they always, this is what I hate about this
That's
shit.
A recommendation.
This is what makes me mad. They're always like, well, you put yourself here. I go, no, you walked me in here.
All right, so who's they and how old are you the first time?
The first time I was 15 when I went to anger management.
All right, you're still with stepdad? And,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What happened?
So when I used to get picked on for being the black kid that listened to punk rock and skated and all that stuff. And I remember one time this kid.
The white kids who listen to punk rock and skating got picked on too, by the way.
True.
But you were definitely an outlier.
I was an outlier. Yeah. And so there was this guy, he kept calling me a wankster one day. I just started high school. I just started high school. And he was calling me that because he was just, everybody would say something smart about me.
Did you still have this size right here? You were stocky build.
I wasn't like this stocky, but I was like strong, shredded. Yeah, I was shredded. And I remember one day I was just like, I'm gonna just fight this kid. I swear. And I remember one time he said it again, and then I went after him. I was like, hey man, like it just went crazy, and like I would go an extra mile just to fight. And I used to do this thing where I would like take my fist and I would go bam like that
on your own head.
Yeah, on my own head right before I would fight. And when he saw that, he was like, okay, I didn't know that's what he had in
right away.
And I couldn't stop. I just the aggression was just so strong. It was almost blackout, right? And I remember my brother was on the football team, and so he had all his football friends. They were standing there. They were like, "Hey, come on, like calm down." When someone started grabbing me, that's when I started freaking out because people were grabbing me. Because I'm like, if you're grabbing me, he has the opportunity to come over swing.
He's gonna fuck me up.
Well, this was during lunchtime at school, and so the teachers were coming from the teachers' lounge, and they saw what was going on. They were like, "Okay, we'll take it from here." And I remember this one teacher reached for me, and I swung at him, and he was the sweetest.
You said teacher. Was like you killed his ass.
I know. He was. Shout out to Mr. Green.
Mr. Green about to be red. Huh?
He was a nice guy. Gentle guy, history teacher. He listened to reggae every day. Like his energy was just pure. He smiled like he never had any like. He treated every student with just greatness, and I just decided, yo, Mr. Green, don't you fuck
you today, Mr. Green.
Don't you grab him, Mr. Green. And so he backed up and was caught off guard. And then another teacher.
You know what's making me laugh? If you listen to hip hop, they would have said, this black kid's aggressive because of the hip hop. Yeah. You listen to punk, like, this black kid's, it's the punk rock.
Yeah, it's the punk rock. Why is he aggressive?
Oh, you're damned if you do it, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Fuck Mr. Green.
It doesn't matter what side I'm on.
You know? Sound like Mr. Green smoked a lot of green, too.
And that was the rumor around the school. That was rumor around school. And so, I swung at him, then. Another
Did you hit him? Did you make contact?
No, I did not make contact. Okay. He was pretty quick. For a dude that listen to reggae a lot, he's pretty damn fast. I was like, whoa, okay, Mr. Green. All right. And I wasn't on Mike Tyson when it came to swinging, so. But, and then another teacher grabbed at me, swung at her.
Her?
Yeah, I know. I said,
oh, no, man. You were just going.
Sorry, Miss Johnson. My bad. I didn't listen. Forgive me now. I'm better now because of it. Swung at her. Then all of a sudden I got tackled. We had a buff principal. His name was Dr. Hernandez. Buff dude. Right?
Principal tackled you?
Oh my God. Tackled me. He slammed me up against the wall so hard that I was like, and I tried to like, I was like, I knew what he did, and I knew he was big, but also at the same time, I was like, I can't let him just. I'm like, he a principal, teacher, whatever. And so I tried to bust back, and then he was like, huh. And I was like, okay. I was like, hey man, you made it clear.
You definitely got 20% more in your tank,
exactly, man. I was like,
I'll let you.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey son, I'm not trying to hurt you. I just want you to calm down. My brother, like I said, this is a protector. He walked up because there was a big crowd around campus, like watching this all go down. And all my brother sees is me pinned against the wall and my hands behind my back. And he saw that and he saw red and he picked up a trash can and he threw it at us. And I'm looking at him like.
At the principal and you?
All of us. Because he was trying to get them away from me. And I said, hey, I'm over here too.
Yeah.
Why you throwing them? Like, don't grab a trash can. Just come over here and pull them off me.
Yeah.
And then that one flew by everybody. And everyone's just like, whoa. And then he picks up another trash can. And I'm like, hey. I'm like, Damon, chill. And that was the thing. They were like, yo, if you calm down and relax, he'll calm down and relax. And I remember the way they got him, all like his football buddies had grabbed him, and threw him in a classroom. They like locked him in there to get him to calm. They're like, if you calm down, your brother will calm down. I was like, okay, I'll calm down. And then they're like, we got to put your hands behind your back. We got to, cuff you, to walk you to the
Who was there to cuff you?
We had a
security then?
Yeah, we had security and the police.
I'm older than you. We never had any of that. They would have had to call them.
Oh,
yeah, they were not.
They had to drive over from a different building.
That was in the 90s, man. Nobody was shooting the fucking schools up in the 80s and the 90s. They weren't.
True, yeah. So we had a campus officer and then the security guard. Shout out to Marissa. She was big white lady and she did not play. Marissa did not. She was big mama. Okay. And this white lady, probably from somewhere in the Midwest with the biggest calves in the world, did not fucking play. You see her riding her bike around campus. Bitch was like
working those calves out.
Working those calves out. Bitch was like, she looked like Debo. Okay, that's how she rolled around. Shout out to Marissa.
Everybody tucking
their chain in when she would come around, bro. I'm telling you, Marissa did not fucking play. When she threatened to pepper spray me, I was like, hey, come on, man. She did. I said, we gotta do all that. What you want me to do? You want me to calm down?
Oh, man.
She did not fucking.
And she roamed the campus and shit.
She roamed the campus and did it. And she was mean mugging all the time, like punking kids, man. That was Marissa. Shout out to Marissa.
This podcast is sponsored by Betterhelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things, but sometimes life gets you bogged down and you may feel overwhelmed or like you're not showing up in the way you want to. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills so you can get closer to the best version of you. We talk about therapy a lot on this show. I'm a big believer in therapy. Therapy is great for a lot of reasons. It gives you positive coping skills. It's very good to help set boundaries and empowers you to be the best version of yourself, all right? It's not just for people who've experienced, that's another thing. People love to compare trauma. It's not about comparing trauma. Whatever happened to you, it happened to you, and that's what you need to deal with, all right? If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp's a great option. It's convenient, flexible, affordable, and entirely online. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/honeydew today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/honeydew. Now, let's get back to the do.
But so after all that commotion, schools they stopped suspending me, and so one school they when they stopped suspending me, they made me clean up the campus. They're like, "You're gonna do community service," and I was like, "This ain't the community. This is a school." You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" So I had to clean up the campus, and then this school. So that was my record of being suspended so much, and so they were like, "We're gonna put you in anger management." So that's how I got
at 15.
Yeah, that's
all right. And okay, that's time number one.
Yeah.
All right, now we go to anger management. Where do we go? We go to a church. Where is this?
No,
meeting
it was on
held?
campus.
Oh,
it was one of the counselors.
Okay. And is it a Saturday session? Like
no, it was like
during school, or
it was during school.
Oh, that's all right. They didn't penalize you, make you do it after school.
So I had to do it.
So it's like a class.
Yeah. So I had to do it during school. And
how many other people were in there?
It was just me. I only had
you were the only kid fighting teachers.
So because of how aggressive I was, I had to do one-on-one sessions.
Gotcha.
I had to do like group sessions.
And is an adult with you, or is this like a college student? Like who's coming in to do anger management?
No, there was one of the campus counselors, the guidance counselors that help you
kept
choose.
it in-house.
Yeah, they kept it in-house. But also, I don't think he really knew
what
he was doing.
This sounds like they should have subcontracted.
I'm like, I see that textbook over there. And yeah, right.
2 teachers?
He's just reading the book like,
he is
all right, so yeah.
So you what?
Yeah. So I think your problem is, I'm like, you don't know. So I actually stopped going after that because I was just like, this. All he kept saying was like, "You're angry." I said, "I know that. That's why I'm here." You know. But the second time I had to go was in college, junior college. Okay. And I was on the cheer team at the junior college, and I tried to fight one of my teammates. I told him, and this is funny, this should never come out of a cheerleader's mouth.
Whatever it is, I can't wait.
I said, "Motherfucker, you say something like that to me again, I'll stomp your chest in." And then I went after him. And then everybody grabbed me because everybody was like, "Oh my God, like this is like," I mean, please
tell me you're in uniform and it's during a game.
No, it was at practice. It was at practice. So we had the pom-poms around and all this stuff, and it's just like
some cones
over there. And I'm just sitting here trying to attack this motherfucker. I said, you say something like that, man, I'll stomp your chest in. And when I went on attack, I went after him. But luckily, there was another cheerleader on my team that was a pretty big dude. Shout out to homie Cedric. He was a bigger dude, so he
was upset.
Yeah. And so he was able to grab me, and he had the strength to like actually hold me.
He
back.
Had that Mr. Hernandez strength.
Yeah, he had that Mr. Hernandez strength. All right. You know, and so so when he grabbed me, my coach was like, they had to like push me out.
The cheerleaders saying almost
and they had to like,
your chest.
I know, yeah, stomp your fucking chest.
Well, they said be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Yeah, they said be aggressive. I said, I got that. And I don't even, what's funny about the whole thing is I couldn't even tell you what he said to me.
That's what I was about to ask. What the hell did he say?
I couldn't even tell you what I was angry about because a lot of times I don't even know what I was angry about, but I just know I just didn't like disrespect. And so
principle. Big on principle.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Not the principle.
Yeah, principle. Yeah, the principle of the matter. Yeah. But I mean, for probably what he said, it was probably so little. And then my reaction was to stomp his chest in. And it was probably something dumb like, "Ooh, you messed up the pyramid today." I'm like, "Bitch, what?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably, I just probably reacted. But so my coach was like, "You can't return to practice until
they'll never have you in the NFL with that attitude."
Yeah. And so she was like, "You can't return to practice until you do anger management." And I was like, they tried this shit. I was like, told him. I was like, yeah, they already tried this shit.
They already tried.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Again? So
again is hilarious.
So shout out to Miss Berry. So I had to.
There's so many names.
So many names. Shout out to Miss Berry. So this is the second anger management teacher.
Okay. And she's at the campus.
She's
at
the campus.
Okay.
But she was fully trained.
All right.
Because I remember when I walked in there, and I was just like, just looking like that. And I walked in her office, and she was just smiling the whole time, right? Never dropped her smile. She was just smiling. And
didn't have that pepper spray.
No. She didn't. Yeah, right. Yeah, she
just waiting on it.
Yeah, she didn't have big Marissa behind her, though. And so she just kept smiling, and I sat down. I still had this look of like, okay, whatever. And she goes, "Well, my name is Miss Berry," and I was like, "Oh, my name's Shapel. Nice to meet you." And she goes, "Oh, that's a beautiful name. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What are some things you like to do?" And I was like, "What?" And I'd never been asked that before. Like, what are you things you like? I was like, damn, I don't think anyone's ever asked me what I like. And I was like, well, I'm a cheerleader.
You're what, 19 at this
19.
point?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone that not one person has been like, what do you like to do?
Because like I said earlier when I was talking about it, like I've kind of just kept in my own world.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go, these are the things I like to do. And I'm really happy doing these things. And I just stay there. And I kind of go in a shell. So when she asked that and someone was intrigued by it, but intrigued by my interest and the things that I liked, that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the guard came down and I said, I'm a cheerleader here on campus. I skateboard. I also play guitar. She was like, "Oh my God, you play guitar." She's like, "Oh wow, that's amazing. How long you been playing?" I was like, "Oh, I've been playing since I was 13. She goes, and what's your favorite style to play? I'm like, "Oh, punk rock." And she's like, that's amazing. Where does your musical background come from? And I was like, oh, I'm the only one in my family that plays instruments. And she's like, grandparents or anything like that? I was like, I don't know my grandparents too well, but I don't think they have like a musical background. And then, and she was like, oh, none of your siblings or anything played like that? I was like, oh, no, just me. You know, I was like, I'm kind of like a lone wolf, you know, when it comes to that world. And then she goes, oh, wow. So what did your siblings like to do? I was like, oh, my brother was a football player. My other siblings, they kind of, you know, play the more traditional sports as well. And then she goes, oh, wow. What are your parents like? And when she did that, I got quiet. And I was like, oh, I have my my stepfather and my mom. No, that's all I did. I just said I just grew up with my stepfather and mom. And then tell me a little bit about them. What was your home life? If you play guitar, that, you know, seems pretty exciting. And then when she said what my home life was like, when she asked that question, that's when I just
started swinging.
I said, you ever say something, you ask me a question like that, I'll stomp your chest.
I told you what I told that cheerleader.
I'll stomp your chest and ask me a question. Told you can't say dad around me. You say the word dad, I swear to God, I'll go crazy. You can't bring up fathers, nothing. You just say adult in the house.
Oh, God.
And I that was the first time I ever spoke about what happened to me. That was the first time I ever...
This is, if I'm doing the math right, you're 19, 16, 15, 16 years ago.
So 15, and then when you're junior college, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you remember this vividly.
Vividly, because it was...
Because someone just gave a shit.
Yeah.
Someone just simply said, how are you?
Yeah.
How's your fucking day? Mm-hmm. We forget that really does make a difference.
Yeah.
In people's lives. You know, I'm guilty of talking at people for a while too, mm-hmm. and not shutting the fuck up and being like, enough about my ass. Like, how are you today? Mm-hmm. What's going on with you? How's your health? How's this? How's that?
Just a simple, it was, everything she asked was just very, very simple. It was nothing
but
to it.
I'm seeing the impact it made on you.
Yeah. You know, like I said, but you got to realize I had a third anger management teacher.
I hear you. I know we're halfway there. I know. But this one was a good start.
This one was a complete she is amazing. I have
like
nothing
that first
but
one might as well have been whatever.
I can't even remember his name.
Yeah.
But Miss Berry, that was
he
one.
Remembers your ass though.
Know,
he's
right?
probably talking to a therapist right now like, this Shapel kid, I'm telling you, he's scared the fuck out of me.
He's scared the fuck out of me. But no, she just asked these simple questions, and when I said my home life was hectic, I just started crying. And she goes like, do you know what happened to you? And I was like, no. And she goes, you were abused. And I said, I was like, and then she goes, you have PTSD. And she broke down PTSD, and I stopped her because I was like, I think that's for the war veterans. I was like, I don't think I can have PTSD. That was like, I think that's for people that fight in the war. And then she was like, and then she, broke down post-traumatic stress disorder. She goes, the things that happened to you when you were younger are triggering, how you live today, or making, you live in a way of this aggression, these things that you haven't necessarily let go. And I was like, oh, wow. When she broke it down, I was just like, that's me. I never thought I was an abused child.
Man.
Hey, look, that right?
I'm going.
I was like, where my stepdad at? Where he at now? I'll go get his ass right now. Let's throw these hands down,
this is sounding so good. I don't know how we're about to get to the third one, but I can't wait to hear it.
No, it was the third one was actually pretty smooth. Okay, so the third one is easy. The third one wasn't crazy.
But this was a positive. How long did you do this? Is it
this
a semester?
one? I was going to her for a few months. Yeah.
Okay, and you liked it.
Loved it.
Great.
I would go all the time. And then I had this psychology teacher named Chilton.
What?
Chip Chilton.
Chilton, not Chillin.
No, Chilton.
Chip Chilton.
Shout out to Chip. I love this dude. It was the only teacher where I just paid attention in class, where I sat there, I didn't say any words, and I was so the most focus I think I've ever had in the class was Chip's class, because he was so cool. And every day before class, I would go in and I'd shake his hand, right? Just because, and even if he came in late before he would start the class, he would go, "Oh, I got to do something," and he'd walk over to me and he'd come and shake my hand, right? And I don't know why I was shaking his hand, but it was just because I liked him. And then one day he walked past the session that I was in, and and when I saw him the next day, I said, "Chip, do you know the lady that I was talking to?" And he goes, "No, who is that?" I go, "Oh, down." I was like, "Damn, I thought you would know because of psychology." And I was like, "That's my anger management teacher." And then he said, "Anger management?" He's like, "You're in anger management?" I go, "Yeah, I got crazy anger problems." And then he goes, "I would have lost $1 million." I go, "What? What do you mean?" He goes, "You're angry?" He goes, "Why don't I make you mad? Why don't I make you mad?" And I was like, I don't know. You just don't. You're a nice guy. He goes, "Why don't I make you mad?" And I said, "I don't know." I was like, I mean, you asked this. I don't know. And so he goes, "I want you."
Chip,
he goes,
I want to piss me off,
right,
man.
Yeah, right.
I don't like that tone, Chip.
Hey, ask me again. I'll stomp that chest out.
You're about to take a chip out of your
Chip,
ass.
I swear to God. Ask me again. Go ahead, fix your mouth to ask me again, Chip. No. No, but then he was like, "I want you to go home and think about why I don't make you angry." And because I liked him so much, I actually did. I remember I went home that weekend. I came back. I said, "Chip, I do not know why I do not make you angry." He said, "You know what? Come by my office around lunchtime." He goes, "This ain't going to be teacher to student. It's not going to be doctor to patient. We're just going to become friends." And I was like, "Okay, I can dig that." And so I went to his office, and I remember I walked in, and big rock and roll geek, loves Jimi Hendrix. He had all, Eric Clapton. He had all this stuff in his office. I was like, "Whoa, this is dope." I was like, I never thought a teacher would, get down like this. Same questions. Tell me about yourself. What are the things you like? Right? I started to realize, I was like, "Oh, this is a traditional. This is how y'all do it."
Yeah. They just memorized that textbook.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like, I said, "I'm a cheerleader on campus. I'm a big fan of punk and hardcore music." And he goes, "Oh, you like punk rock?" He goes, "What's some of your favorite bands?" And I was like, "Why does it matter?" I was like, "You're a teacher. You wouldn't know." He goes, "Try me." And I said, "Black Flag." And not only did he tell me about Black Flag, but he also told me about other bands from that era. And I was like, "What?" And then I was locked in. And Chip,
is he telling you about like Sex Pistols and
he just broke it down like that.
Rollins and all these guys?
And he knows I'm a big Rollins geek, and so he would use a lot of Henry Rollins spoken word things from that to help me with my anger, because he was like, "Oh, okay." He took my interest and used that to help me with my anger.
That's great.
And that was one person, and I haven't seen him since. I've tried to find him. And I hope one day that I do find him, because I owe so much to that man. Because that was the first time someone had really seen me and didn't think I was an angry person and thought of me as genuine. And I didn't really know that was fully in me, but he saw it before anyone else really did. And so when he said I would have lost $1 million to think that you're angry, I was like, was something on my chest?
It was a bug on your microphone. I was about to tell you to smack the shit out of it.
I'll stomp that bug. I'll stomp that bug's chest. I'll stomp that bug's chest.
I couldn't stop looking at it. I wanted to reach over there.
I'll stomp his chest. But it was so me and Chip would have these conversations all the time. And I remember one thing he said to me where he was like, I said, "I don't really have a lot of confidence in myself, so, self-esteem, because of the way my stepdad treated me." And he laughed. He goes, "What?" He goes, "It was never his." He goes, "It's self-esteem. It's yours." He's like, "Are you with him anymore?" I said, "No, I haven't lived with him in years." He goes, "Yeah, it's yours. He never had it, and it's always going to be yours. It's never going to be anyone else's." And I didn't understand that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he laughed at it, I said, "Chip, laugh at my shit again."
I'm a backflip.
I'm a backflip. and kick you in the face. I'm just kidding. No, it was wild. That was wild. And I think about it now, and I know exactly what I know exactly what he's saying. I know exactly what he meant.
It still affects me. Like my self-confidence has always been good.
Yeah.
In the sense that I believed if this was my job, I could do it and do it well. Okay. Yes. If this is what I was supposed to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a good job. Yep. And I believe I can do that. My self-esteem beat down, right? Beat down, but it makes sense that your self-confidence is up. Your self-esteem is yours also, right? So I've always, even still, my self-esteem is not where it should be, but my confidence, self-confidence is. Yeah. You know, I believe in myself. I've always have. I said this before too, like going back to validation. I never looked for validation out there ever. Yeah. I did what I did, not to prove anyone wrong, but to prove myself right. I knew I could. Yeah. I fucking knew I could. Yeah. Whatever it was, I'm like, I know I can do this shit. I don't care what you think. I'm not doing it to be like, I showed you. I'm doing it because the validation I want and need is from me. Yeah. Yeah, it's from me.
The only time I did that was once when my stepdad said I'd never graduate high school. I was like, bitch, I did it.
Yeah. Well, barely, listen, I'm not saying it shouldn't be the third thing on the list or even the second, but the first thing.
Yeah. So Chip dropped a lot of knowledge my way. And like I said, he's someone that I just owe so much to because that was the person that pretty much really, like Miss Berry started it. She like, you know, cracked it open, and then Chip was like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. You know, he took the things that I like, the things that I loved, and just helped guide me through these things to help control my anger. And he also told me something. He said, your anger is never gonna leave. He goes, everybody has anger. He goes, that's human nature. It'll never leave. So don't ever think that you won't have it, that you're just, voila, it's done. You're always going to have this. He goes, but here's what you can do with it. And then once I realized that, I was like, damn. Because he was like, all you know is anger. That's the one thing he goes, that's the one emotion you know best. You know it so well. You know exactly where to go to get that anger. He goes, but here's what you could do with it. There's a lot of positivity you could do with this anger. You could use it as a drive to help you succeed in these other areas of life. You know, you can use this anger to study how to deliver a better self. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, motivate you to move forward, not keep you in the present. Yeah, especially not the past.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it catches a lot of people off guard that I actually went through anger management.
Well, what was the third one? This is sort of this one. I see.
So Chip is the third one.
He was actually in anger management as well, or just sort of?
He was a psychiatrist or whatever they do at them offices or whatever.
Them offices, I know. Yeah,
yeah. Like he did that. So he was, and
you like that too. Then you really like working with him. Obviously.
And he knew my world so well, like with the punk rock, which was something that I consider like a big part of my
and you take blood. That anger and angst and put it into music, and art,
and like I said, I got to give so much. I hope I find him one day. I really do because
Chip,
you listen to the podcast,
listening, bro.
I haven't stomped anyone's chest out in a minute.
Hit up Shapel and protect your chest.
Yeah, protect your chest. Protect your chest.
You better make shirts,
I know,
bro.
right? Protect your chest. Protect your chest. Oh, man, that's funny. I remember one specific thing with Chip that this is why I owe a lot to him. I remember one time I was with my brother, and he still talked to my mom on the regular, but he was old enough to like he lived on his own. And I remember he was like, man, our stepdad just keeps because she eventually got out, but he wouldn't leave her alone. And then and I kept hearing it, and I was just getting mad, and I wasn't even like I said I don't know if I was so 50-50 with my mom. I felt bad that like, because I just hated him.
Right.
And the fact that he was just doing anything in general, the fact that he existed, I fucking hated. And I remember my brother said, let's go do something about it. I said, I'm with it. And he said, we might get crazy. I said, that's all we do. And I remember, and I felt it because I was like, man, I think me and my brother are about to really do something crazy. I felt it. And this was, I was visiting back home, and I called Chip and I said, hey, man, I said, I just want to thank you for, he didn't answer, so I left a message. And I said, I want to thank you for all that you helped me with. But, my stepfather is still getting buck. And I said, I'm
lacing these
I
boots
said, me and my brother, I said, we got to do this. I said, it's been been a long time coming. I said, we got to take care of this. And I remember he called immediately, and like I didn't know what he was going to say, but I answered. I didn't know what he was going to say. And I remember me and my brother literally getting ready to leave. We were about to hop in his Jetta, bumping R&B music, because that's all. I'm like, my brother would blast. We'd be in the car together, just two dudes just bumping Usher. Loud.
You're hating.
Yeah, with anger.
Yeah, with pissed
drive, get ready to go drive.
Up in the club, you guys are pissed off.
Wanna make love in this club. It was so, and he would always do that shit. I'm like, why do we always
say firing me up right here? Okay.
Yeah. He would always do shit like that. But meanwhile, he felt the anger, but he was just like, man, Usher's cool.
Yeah.
But Chip called, and there was something in his voice that I just never heard from Chip, because he was always calm and he spoke well. And he was like stuttering and freaking out. And I said, we're just going to kick his ass, And he said, I don't want you to do that. He goes, I want you to talk to your brother. I want you to sit down with him, and talk about why you shouldn't do it, why you should not do this, why you should not go over there and do harm. Because he goes, you're gonna harm him, but you're also gonna harm yourself. You're gonna harm yourself, and your brother's gonna harm himself as well. You may not physically do it to each other, but the repercussions of what you do will happen. You can't let him have this, is what he said. That's what he said. He goes, you're giving your stepfather something that that he can have of yours. He's going to have this thing of you, and it's not something you want to give him. And I remember thinking that, I'm about to give him something, and I didn't want to give him anything. I never wanted to give him anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was about to give, even if it was just a beating, I was about to give him that. And meanwhile, things were about to be taken away from me. He was in a sense like, your stepfather's going to take something. The law is going to take something. You're going to get things taken away from you. And I was like, wow, fuck. And he had this rush in his voice where he was in a sense like had like almost like pleading, and it hurt my heart to hear Chip's voice like that, because I know how he is, and I know how a beautiful person he is, and such a gentle soul, and to hear that I was in a sense freaking him out, I was just like, man, I was like, I can't do that. And I told my brother when I got off the phone with Chip, I said, we can't do it. We can't go over there. We got to be better than that. We'll figure it out. Things will work out. But we can't do harm. We can't hit. We can't do it. And he was like, all right, just like that, as simple as that. And I think that was the first time I don't know what my brother felt from me at that point. And I didn't even say I just talked to my anger management teacher, but I don't know what he felt. He felt something to where he was just like, okay. And I don't know if it was just because he was someone that always just backed whatever, like.
He's supporting you this way too.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that's what that was. And I never got to really ask him about it, obviously, due to his passing. There's so many things I wish I could have asked, but, due to unfortunate events. But I think there was something where, he was just like, all right, we won't do it. We'll chill, And I just said, because like I said, I was visiting, like I said, I was visiting home from college or whatever. And so I just said, just be there for mom. Just do that as best as you can. And we didn't do it. But today, if he did it again, bro.
I'm gonna get
my fourth anger management teacher.
Dude, protect your chest.
Protect your chest from me, dog.
Dude, I'm proud of you, man. You got a long way to go, too. That's what also sucks is like now you're in it, you've accepted it, and then shit's going to be circling back. All kinds of emotions pop up when you least expect it. Then you maybe become a dad. Then you got feelings about being a dad and your dad and a stepdad and this, that. Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, luckily, I've become at peace with my stepfather, and I feel bad because people feel like I should hate him and they want to talk bad about him, and I don't want people to do that. It's just not good energy. It's not the energy that I want to put out there.
I agree.
Like I said, I have his number. I'll call him up right now. You know what I mean? Like I would rather, because at times when I do talk about my stepdad, people are like, fuck him, and I'm like, no. I don't want that. I don't want that energy. I don't want to put that towards his way. I'd rather him be better. I'd rather him, learn about life in a way that I got the chance to learn. I'd rather that. I don't want this like, yo, fuck this dude or anything like that. I don't want that energy put out there about him because I'd rather, especially because I've seen the result of all of the things that like I've been able to learn. There's a beautiful result.
Yeah, there is.
From it. And it's never too late for him. I think he's 52 now. Yeah, he's 52. Because he was 17 when I was born.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He was young.
Only a few years older
than me.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. He was probably just thinking, this is my little brother. Yeah, of course I'll hit him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably thinking like this. I don't know what he's thinking.
How long was he in your life?
He's been in my life since.
But I mean, actually, like present. Like, how long were you under your?
That motherfucker never left the house. God damn. I was like, bro.
But 8 years of your life.
Oh no! All the way until he kicked me out. Okay. But like, I still see him.
Yeah.
I still see him. Like he lives in the same area.
Look, man, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. It's important because there are so many, especially us guys too, that are angry, pissed off. Yeah. And then we end up doing something, especially when we're young and dumb and we think we're bulletproof. And then you end up going into this system that doesn't give a fuck about your story. Because what you also don't realize is even though maybe, like I knew for me, nobody else in my circle or even proximity was living any story like I was living. But put me into the fucking system, I'm a dime a dozen. Right.
And
not the suburbs.
Yeah.
But in the system. And nobody gives a fuck about you there because you become a number there. So you got to stay out of that. Be the fucking outlier in the goddamn suburbs. Yeah. Be that one.
Yeah, I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if someone gets bucked, they
got to get their chest kicked in. Dude, thank you for coming on again.
Thanks for having me again.
Plug
man.
everything again, please.
Yeah, January 5th through the 7th, I'll be at Punchline, Sacramento. All my social media stuff at Shapel Lacey. I don't do any podcasting stuff, but I post, clips and all that on my socials. And I would love nothing more than for people just to see me live,
All right.
Yeah, so
go see him live. Guys, thank you again for your support. Make sure you subscribe up to that YouTube, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.